Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sweetie Doodles. This is your artist Nyx, and today we'll be drawing another chibi anime style character from my Dungeons & Dragons playing adventures. Drawing these anime chibi style characters has been a lot of fun, kind of a blast to the past because I used to draw nothing but anime. And I kind of took a break for a while. I wanted to go more realistic, but returning to this style has been so happy and shiny and bright. I mean, look at her face, it's so cute. Anyways, the person we're drawing today is a player character named Rosie. I love Rosie. She is so different. She's a human noble person and somewhat of a bard, and she lives in the same universe that Juniper does, kind of on the other side of the world though, if you think about it. She lives in a city called Watchtower, which is nestled safely away from any of the illness-causing mist that has descended upon the world. So Watchtower is definitely a place that you'll want to live. It's a nice, happy little city. Now, being a bard and a noble person, Rosie definitely has higher charisma and intelligence and wisdom point. She knows a lot of different languages, how to play different musical instruments, proper etiquette of a lady, and she is also an inventor. And this is my favorite part about Rosie, is she has poured all of her privileges, her studies, and efforts into inventing. She has come up with what she likes to call the phonograph. And being a bard, that is her musical instrument of choice. I find that so unique. I worked really closely with the dungeon master, who was quite gracious at my request of letting Rosie use this phonograph. Her main goal is to create these things that she calls documentaries. So she goes around the city and loves to record stories, songs, and conversations of the townspeople so she can compile them into these little clips and play them back for informational purposes and culture study purposes. But she can also use the phonograph to document certain conversations. She can spy on people using the phonograph, and also because she loves her city so much, she often uses it to play songs to entertain the children of the city. That's obviously like the coolest part about Rosie, is like this really unique aspect. Rosie is also engaged in the game. I think that's so cute. The dungeon master actually engaged her to another noble person who is from a merchant family, and they own a lot of the inns and the distilleries in Watchtower. So that makes Rosie feel even that more fleshed out of a character. So she definitely has more of a background, and I love that about her. Now, getting to her personality, Rosie definitely views herself as an inventor and a scholar and a representative of Watchtower. She loves her city so much. She gets really wrapped up in her own world, and her quick wit is only matched by her strong sense of justice. As a result, she can actually be a little bit polarizing to other people, whether they're NPCs or player characters. Like anyone who doesn't really share the same values as Rosie. Maybe they're not from Watchtower, so they just don't quote unquote get it. And I don't know, like, if you guys play Dungeons & Dragons, are you the type of player who doesn't mind conflicts with the other player characters, or does it bother you? I haven't quite decided on that, but that's just kind of how Rosie came out, is she either gets along with you or she wants nothing to do with you. And there was this one instance where Rosie was adventuring with the rest of the group, which involved a lot of members of Watchtower, but it also included this one rogue who was somewhat of a drifter, who was clearly not from Watchtower. And the group had decided to go into the aqueducts deep underneath Watchtower to do a bit of investigating. Some shenanigans were afoot at Watchtower, and they needed to figure out what was going on. And during their investigating, the group had found a dragon's egg, a live dragon's egg, and the group didn't really know what to do with it. Rosie clearly knew to leave it alone. Like, she had her idea about what was right, and she did not want to touch the dragon's egg because she felt that disturbing it would cause the mother of the dragon's egg to probably freak out and maybe burn down all of Watchtower, which is definitely something Rosie wouldn't have wanted. However, at the same time, the rogue of the group really wanted to take the dragon's egg for themselves, and that caused a real conflict. After a little bit of back and forth arguing, Rosie did something that I don't think I even expected to follow through with, but she actually deployed Vicious Mockery against the rogue, and she rolled so high that she almost killed the rogue, which was terrible. The whole time I'm rolling the dice, I'm like, no, Rosie, you dumb fool. Why did you do this? But we moved past it, at least as the players of the group moved past it. I don't think Rosie and the rogue could ever be friends after that. So that was crazy. I can laugh about it now. Anyways, I am so curious. For those of you who do roleplay games, have you ever had a character do something so far beyond what you would have done in real life? And if so, what did they do? What kind of decisions did they have to make, or did you have to make for them, I suppose? How did you deal with that disparity between your own personal values and your character's values? I would love to know. Put it in the comments. Anyways, so aside from Rosie, I do want to talk a little bit about my art process for these chibis, because I realized in Juniper's video, I didn't really tell you guys what I was up to. So what I did was I did a quick sketch in a regular sketchbook, and I did a quick ink on top of that, and I scanned it in. Using Fire Alpaca, I did a second sketch layer. I realized there were just some things that I wasn't super happy with because the chibi style is so finicky. Anything that's a little bit out of place looks really out of place for the proportions of a chibi character. So I did a lot of finessing. After the second layer of sketch, I felt more comfortable inking it in a third time and keeping that ink. I am getting a lot more familiar and comfortable with the cell shading process of the program that I'm using, so I'm starting to get a little bit happier with that. I was able to fix the color balance of my laptop, so hopefully these are coming out a lot less green than some of my past videos, I hope. Anyways, as I was saying before, I really do enjoy drawing in anime. I know it's kind of a shortcut art style. It's a little bit easier, more flowy. You can really put your own elements in and not worry about actual human anatomy. That being said, they just make me really happy. You know, sometimes you have to do a light and fluffy piece before you go back to your serious, more realistic art style. That's pretty much it for this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you're still watching to the end, thanks a bunch, I really appreciate it. Go ahead, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit subscribe, ring that little bell, and I will see you in my next video.